Wait, I'm curious, Hunter. Has Anna said that Vaush is transphobic?
Yeah, but the problem is that Vaush hasn't.
She literally posted the clip and said, "Why do you?"
Food Chops, I wanted to answer that.
Wait, yes, she posted the clip on Twitter and said, "Why do you think the LGBT community is cancer?"
Okay, did you call him transphobic?
Okay, I get that you're acting in incredibly bad faith right now, but anybody with half a brain cell who isn't
in bad faith.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude.
Anybody who's not fresh out of preschool knows the implication there. Hey Vaush, why are you saying the LGBT community is cancer after he was attacking her for not being progressive enough? Yeah, the implication is that he's being transphobic. Are you serious right now? Is this your first day in the real world? You're acting so smug right now, but yet you're also acting so stupid, and it does not go well together. But I guess I was under the impression that the controversy was more around the clip that Anna tried to leak in order to, I guess, attack Vaush as a transphobe. I guess, are we on the he called Anna a bitch thing, or are we on the clip that she actually shared of him?
I think the way that Anna and the rest of TYT, the way they're sharing clips is disingenuous. I totally agree with that, right? Because I was a Vaush fan in the past, and the way I sort of see at it, is that the way Vaush talked about these things is definitely like, I understand where he's coming from, absolutely, right? Because
which thing,
right?
The trans thing?
Yeah, the specific trans thing is like the LGBT communities are cancerous and whatever, right?
Well, sorry to cut you off, but he specifically said the online LGBT community, and even Anna Kasparian. Hold on, wait, stop, please, because
Let people respond back to you, okay?
Well, I'm just finishing my argument.
Go ahead, Hunter.
Because
no, I'm saying for others to let you respond.
Even
back
Anna
to
Kasparian, when sharing the clip, said that Vaush said that the LGBT community is cancer. When he did not say that, he specifically said the online LGBT community is cancer, which is a big difference because all online communities can be toxic, and the LGBT community is not exempt from that.
Is that the extent of it? It's just you're just mad she didn't say online LGBT, but otherwise it's totally fair?
No, I'm mad that she specifically lied. She lied. Hold on, wait. She lied by omission.
She didn't lie.
Yes, she did. She said, she said that Vaush said the LGBT community is cancer. Do you think there's a difference between the LGBT community and the online LGBT community? There is a difference,
but I don't think that differentiating that discredits the fact that what he said was like pretty inflammatory. It was pretty harsh, pretty rude.
But what he said about the online LGBT community was correct. If he had said that about the actual LGBT community, he would have been incorrect. So there is actually a crucial distinction there.
I will say, listen, 1 second, 1 moment, just to keep us on page and to keep this productive. The online LGBT community is something that is acknowledged and known by the online space. So I don't know if her saying that, I don't know if that's intentional, unintentional, but it does seem like the only people who would know that there's a difference there are the people who are online. I don't think that there's a distinction made by people outside of these online spaces.
Because anybody in the real world knows that there's a massive difference between the online community of virtually anything versus the real world space. There's a huge separation there.
I think if you're not engaged in these spaces,
wait, how do you think that people are? Do you think that there's such a thing as like furries and crazy furry communities online? But then when you talk, wait, stop. But then when you
cancer, I would assume you're talking about the furry community.
But then when you no. Do you think there's a difference between the crazy furries that spend all day online in these like Reddit spaces versus like a furry you might meet on the street? There's probably going to be a bit of a difference there.
I wouldn't be able to tell. If somebody said that the online furries are like pedophiles, I would not really be able to tell the difference between online furries and regular furries that I meet on the street because I don't really interact with that many.
Okay, well, I think that, it's pretty obvious that there's a distinction between the LGBT community online versus the...
Stop. Okay, stop.
Food Chop, I just need you to not throw a tantrum to get the mic, okay?
All right.
We can't keep that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Listen, so the thing is, I can totally understand how like in real life people don't really interact with these communities too often, so they can't tell the difference between like an online and an in real life difference between these two, right? But at the same time, Anna Kasparian is a political commentator, and I would expect somebody like Anna Kasparian to know the difference between like an online aspect of a community versus the in real life aspect of a community. However, in that specific clip, Vaush, I think Vaush only mentions like the difference between the online and the in real life aspect like only a few times. So I guess it can be easily missed. So if
the very beginning, no, you're literally disproving your own point. So if you think that Anna Kasparian is that smart, then she should have fucking differentiated. And the clip she posted, literally you hear him saying, online LGBT community. There is a difference between the Twitter woke-tards versus your average everyday LGBT person who's living their life.
You're assuming as if I'm disagreeing with you, but I'm partially agreeing with you. I am assigning some degree of responsibility to Anna Kasparian. I'm saying that, like, as a professional political commentator, I think that some of the like a lot of responsibility lies on her in that specific instance, that she should have differentiated between the online and the in real life like differences. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense, and I think we are on the same page.
Hunter, I'm really curious.
I don't think we disagree too much there.
Is the only point of contention that you have is that she said LGBT community instead of online LGBT community?
Well, no, but that's part of a big problem that I have with it, because that is dishonest and it does make a big difference. It does.
I don't think she intentionally did that to like lie by omission. I don't believe that.
Okay. Who cares? Wait. We just heard from Food Stamps a minute ago about how Anna Kasparian is a professional. Anna Kasparian is a professional political commentator. So I think that I can trust her, you know?
No,
I think that she should be doing. She should be honest there. I think if she cares about truthful information.
Again, what Double Shine is saying here isn't that she's lying intentionally. So it's not that you
intent is irrelevant.
Lost your trust. It's the fact that
intention is everything when it comes to
lying. Then Vaush wasn't meant to be intentionally transphobic in the clip. Now what? Does it just?
No, I think he said some stuff that is still transphobic.
This is what I mean. This intent doesn't actually matter, especially in this context. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think when he says he despises them and they're as detrimental as Nazis.
Them being who?
Them being probably the online LGBT community.
What's transphobic about that?
I think at that point he was specifically talking.
I despise them. I'm trans. What's transphobic about that?
Okay, hold on. I don't care if you're trans.
What's transphobic about it?
If you're saying the online trans people are as detrimental as Nazis, I think that's a pretty extreme statement that could be seen as transphobic.
Why is it
extreme statement is different from transphobic statement. How is it transphobic?
Because I think comparing them to Nazis who are genociding people is a pretty fucking crazy statement.
Why is it transphobic?
And I disagree with it.
Why do you think it's crazy?
You keep saying it's crazy. Well, it's so extreme, bruh, but you're not explaining how that makes it transphobic. It can be crazy and not be transphobic.
Okay, I
guess.
Are
you saying calling all trans people mentally ill is not...
if he called all trans people mentally ill, then that would be pretty transphobic. Yeah, but he didn't say that. He said the online LGBT community is overwhelmingly full of mental illness, which I'm sorry, it's true. Yeah.
He's right. He's fucking right.
Just having mental illness. I talked about this earlier.
I'm not here to disagree with you, but I'm just saying you think that his order of words is fine and fair, and that Anna leaving out the online for her explanation of the LGBT is...
she was lying, and Vaush was saying things that are true. Yeah.
Vaush was talking about an online community being toxic, so by her leaving it out...
She was lying because she says something that wasn't true, and I think it's intentional.
But
she said, why do you think the LGBT community is cancer? He didn't think the LGBT community is cancer. He was talking about the online LGBT spaces.
Okay, so if she said online, is her point completely fair?
If she asked that,
then I would think that she would then
answer her question's retarded, because we all know why.
Then we would start talking about the answer to that question.
But that's what I'm saying. If she said that, then you would be fine with that statement, right?
You would just say it's that. It would make no sense to ask. Why not? Y'all know why the online LGBT community is cancer.
Everybody in this space is part of the online LGBT community, right? So, like, I don't understand, like, why. Like, the thing is, you're saying that she's lying, but you have no way of actually showing that intention.
I don't think we should let this guy wiggle out of where we had him before, because he still hasn't explained how this is fucking transphobic.
Explain the transphobia before we move on.
Can you explain the transphobia thing, please? Because you keep saying, like, it's really extreme, dude, but it being extreme does not amount to transphobic.
If this was the sole point that we were debating
on, don't fucking bail him out.
Food Chops, they're directing a question to Double Shine.
I think that comparing online trans activists who are like perhaps a little bit extreme, comparing them to Nazis, I consider that to be transphobic. Now, I don't know.
Wait, do you think they're a little extreme online? Do you think that they are a little toxic online?
Yeah, of course they're a little toxic, but I would not say that they're as detrimental as Nazis. I think by saying that they are the same, that is transphobic because, well, I mean, I guess it depends on what your definition of transphobic. Mine would just be like you're heavily against trans people, or you're saying that they're like a detriment.
Yeah, but
sorry, not a detriment.
You're saying
I guess,
any
like,
trans person is a detriment is transphobic, or saying all trans people are a detriment?
I'm saying a specific community of trans people are as bad as Nazis.
What about trans
especially because this isn't
as bad as Nazis?
So, can you just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds? Jesus Christ! All right,
I'm sorry.
Holy shit! No, because I'm not talking about like a hyper specific. I'm not saying like these 3 people are fucking Nazis. He's saying that the online trans community is pretty fucking massive. You might say that it's a subset, but this is like overwhelmingly the majority of the trans people that at least the online space interacts with. I don't think most people are interacting with trans people like in day to day.
Did you forget your definition of transphobia, Double Shine, and like the time it took to say that?
Explain to me yours then, Synth.
No, we're using yours. You said it wasn't transphobic. You're the one who said that. We're going to talk about why, or you said it was transphobic. I'm trying to figure out from you, what do you think transphobia is? Is that your definition of transphobia? If it is, if your definition of transphobia is you're calling all trans people detrimental, he didn't do that. If your definition is calling some trans people detrimental, then clearly that's fucking an insane definition because you would agree. You'd be transphobic.
You already said that some trans activists are toxic. So you've already yourself, if that's your definition, then you're transphobic now too.
Okay, so I think let me just get like a working definition of transphobia, right? It's just like right now as it stands, it's just a pretty negative attitude towards trans people, right?
Which Vaush doesn't have. So
I think he has a very, very hyper specific.
Listen, I don't usually bring this up very often for the sake of my own like optics or whatever, but listen, I was a huge transphobic conservative until I debated with Vaush, and that is totally what helped change my mind on certain trans issues. So I can tell you right now, this notion that Vaush is transphobic because he said
some of cares. Why does that matter that you changed your opinion talking to Vaush?
It matters because your claim was that he is negative towards trans people, but I am saying he is quite the opposite.
No, I said he's negative towards this specific community.
Wait, is that what he just said, Synth? Is that what he just said, or am I just mixing this up?
No, I swear to God, he said the polar opposite. It makes no sense to say that. If that's all Vaush was saying, why do you think that's transphobic? Why is it transphobic to say some communities of trans people are bad?
That's a good question then. Yeah, if you're gonna go that route, then why is that bad?
Just to be clear, so do you think that like it would be racist if I said like, oh, all black people are good except the ones that are like conservative, those guys are fine? Do you think that would be racist?
You said that you don't like conservative black people. I would just think that you don't like conservatives.
Yeah,
even
you said I don't like
specifically mentioned specifically the black conservatives.
Yeah, you said I don't. It would depend why you were saying you don't like black conservatives. If you told me I don't like black conservatives because I just generally dislike black people, then yeah, I'd probably say you're being a racist.
What if I said that they're doing a harm to black people?
Okay, then yeah, I'd probably agree with you because you're voting for fucking policies that are literally negative. Wait, hold on, stop, dude.
All black people there, right?
You're right, it's not. Nobody said all trans people. Nobody said all black people. But black Republicans are actually stop.
Generally, that's like a fairly racist comment that most people would understand.
Shut the fuck up for a second, okay?
Black, hold on, then I guess calling some like a whole specific community of trans people.
Can I finish a point? Jesus, black conservatives.
It's a 2v1. I need Double Shine to be able to say his whole point. No, this is
I didn't even get to say. Okay.
You got Food Chop, you got Double Shine. You agree
Food
with
Chop? Food Chop apparently doesn't disagree with you guys very much.
I don't disagree with you guys on this point specifically.
Okay. So this is just you guys versus Double.
All I was going to say is black conservatives are a net harm on the black community. That's true.
That's okay. The black community is not a monolith, so.
Yes, that's the point.
It's very difficult to be able to say that black conservatives are like race traders or a net negative to their own group.
Race traders.
They have
hold up.
They have.
See what I'm saying? Listen, you're doing it right now.
Are race traders? Do you
No,
think that'd be fair to call that like a racist comment?
Hold on.
Probably, yeah.
I use the word race trader because that is what they get referred to as. And it's just this idea that all black people are supposed to think the same, vote the same, and that just would not be accurate.
That would absolutely be racist. Did Vaush ever say anything like that? No, he didn't.
I never claimed that he did.
Not you, the other guy. I keep forgetting his name.
The whole point here was that I was saying that a specific group, having a strong prejudice against a specific group of trans people, especially, I'm not talking about like 5 people. This is a very large, broad category of trans people. Having a specific, that could still be considered transphobic. Now, if your definition is just only transphobic, if it applies to every single trans person, that's fine, but I don't think that's like a tight enough definition that most people.
What is your definition of transphobic, Double Shine? Did you forget what it was?
It's strong negative feelings towards trans people.
Then you would have to demonstrate that Vaush has that. Wait, towards trans people. How many trans people? One trans person? A bunch of trans people?
About
trans
one or
people
two. I'm
fundamentally?
talking about a broad community of online trans people. Do you think the online trans community is just 2 people, Hunter?
No, but when you say that, you're giving yourself enough broad vagueness that you can just basically apply it to anything. So now anytime you have a negative feeling towards trans people, what the fuck does that mean? When a bunch of trans people start calling me a fascist or a Nazi, I have pretty negative feelings towards them. I'm not trans. Hold on, wait. I'm not transphobic. I'm not transphobic because I don't have anything against them for being trans. It's just if they're acting toxic towards me, then yeah, I'm probably going to be a little bit
Then why does Vaush
them.
consider Anna transphobic now?
Why does he?
Yeah, if she only now disagrees with like 5% of issues that are brought up in trans Discord, why is she now transphobic?
I don't know. I haven't really spoken much on Anna specifically. I've been mostly just talking on the Vaush issue, to be fair.
Okay, so just to get it clear then, not everyone here thinks that Anna is changed and pivoted to being a transphobic.
I think that's too extreme. I think that I would need to see more before I'm going to just say she's being transphobic. I think that so far she's definitely been branching out to more right-wingers, and I think she's curious about some more right-leaning positions. No, I haven't seen anything that actually makes me think that she's like this raging transphobe. Now, if there are clips or if she said something that is contrary to that, then I will absolutely change my opinion, mind you.
Do you think it's fair for Vaush to call her a TERF?
I don't know. That's something else.
I mean, I would just like an actual answer.
I'd like an actual answer to the definition of transphobe, but you still haven't given me or Synth that one. So I mean, for a little while, maybe you can answer our question first.
If you're not following the conversation, that's okay. I can restate it.
No, I remember it was anytime you have a negative feeling towards a trans person, that is more than 5, but less than 200.
They believe that you've pivoted, so double just restate it.
Yeah, sure. So I'll restate. I think transphobic generally is seen as negative feelings or negative prejudice towards trans people. Now they're trying to bottle this down on you have to be transphobic, or it's transphobic because it applies to all trans people. I think if you're brushing a large subset of that group in a really negative light, which is exactly what Vaush is doing. Not every online trans person is dealing with shared mental illness or is as bad as the Nazis. But if you brush over a whole entire group like that, yeah, I think it's like pretty transphobic.
How large, Double Shine? How large does the group have to be? You haven't answered this question once.
He didn't undermine trans people, though. That's the problem. If he had said trans people are mentally deranged because men can't be women, that is an attack fundamentally on the concept of being trans. That is transphobic. To say this trans person online is acting toxic, and I've noticed that a lot of trans people online seem to be acting really toxic towards me. That's not transphobic. If he said
transphobic,
if he said they're being toxic towards me because I
community is like dealing, they're like joined by shared mental illness.
It's literally, it's a empirical fact that trans people have disproportionate mental illness. It doesn't invalidate them as being trans.
No, but he's not saying that from a scientific standpoint, and we both know that. You're being really disingenuous if you're
saying
saying
that. In his video specifically, he said the sociologist inside of me sees changes in numbers and I have to interpret them. He said the sociologist inside of me sees numbers and I need to interpret them. That is what he said in that entire clip because I just watched it today on stream. I know you didn't because I know this shit. So yes, he was talking about that. It's true that trans people have disproportionate mental illness. Again, if he said trans people are mentally ill because they think they can change their gender or something, then he is again attacking somebody on the fundamental basis of them being trans. He never did that. He criticized a community. And unless you think that the trans community needs to be handled with kid gloves, then I don't know what else to tell you, my friend. Nothing he said was an attack on trans people.
I think brushing an entire community is pretty bad. Yeah, I would say that. I don't think every
sure, but he didn't do that. He was talking about an online space,
like shared mental illness or as detrimental as Nazis. I think when you brush an entire community and you specify it on the grounds of them being online trans activists, that's pretty transphobic. Now,
you just said trans activists are more toxic. You yourself just said trans activists online are toxic. Also,
I'm not. Just to be clear, yeah, but I'm not. I can say that they're toxic, but I'm not brushing them as again. Him saying that in general, online trans people are like toxic.
He wasn't either.
I think
he
that's
even
a very
said
different
he's not
statement than the
about
entire clip that said.
I'm gonna find the full clip and go ahead and pull up the transcript.
Like for example, when he referenced like the trans conspiracy as a reference to like the Jewish question, don't you think that that's like we're getting pretty fucking tight there on like trans stuff?
Wait, do you want the clip that Anna retweeted?
That was kind of part of it.
It was a 4-hour-long thing. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen every single part. Sure.
You know, that's it. But I don't think he's actually transphobic.
But when you say like the trans question, for example, when you're comparing them to
like
Jews, like on genocide, it sounds like Of course
Definitely.
it's a
Yeah.
joke.
That just
Obviously
sounds like
it's
a
a joke. I don't
joke,
think
you know?
Vaush
Like,
actually wants to kill
I've
trans
made way
people.
worse jokes than that. Like,
Yeah, but why does that matter? I don't understand. Just
Because
you
you're
make
saying
that-
he's transphobic for this, and if she's not transphobic, then he can't be either. Oh my god, dude, it's like talking to a fucking chimp. How are
I'm
you
not
this
talking to a
stupid?
chimp.
So
right?
here's the thing: your personal like comfort with how edgy your jokes can be doesn't necessarily have to impact whether or not someone else's jokes like meet transphobic or
Yeah, they do.
hateful.
If somebody making an edgy joke is not sufficient to be transphobic, then somebody making an equally edgy joke is not sufficient to be transphobic. It's
No,
just
but I'm saying
logic,
your
basic 101
your
shit.
gauge for what is edgy can't be the determination for everybody.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I mean?
But his gauge of what's edgy is
I'm
what.
not comparing one joke. Sorry.
His
Only
edgy
one at a
gauge is
time.
what. Wait, Cherry. He's using his own edginess gauge to determine that Vaush is being transphobic. But then when this person on his team just said that they've also made jokes even worse than that, he said, "Who gives a shit?"
3v1. Why are
Yes,
you like saying
this
they're
is
on
a
my team?
3v1 right now. I'm
Dude,
looking.
come
Like,
on.
Jesus Christ, I'm not even trying to be
Okay.
upset about it, but like, you
Yes,
just keep
you're-
interrupting every single
you
statement
are
I'm
being-
saying, and then
Okay,
like,
You're right. You're really grasping at the
I got
hardcore
this.
stuff, dude.
You are being so dishonest when you say this is a 2v2 and that's his partner. He doesn't have a partner here. You know that. I've made
I
that
didn't
clear.
know that. I'm
looking
sorry.
for
I thought
someone
they
else
were
to
on the
join.
same team. My apologies.
I'm making it clear now. Okay, because it's kind of getting
Are
a
you
dig at
listening
him
their
when I've
positions?
tried to
They're
give
completely
him.
disagreeing with me.
I've tried to give him plenty of time to respond because it has been a 2v1 and Food has to sit this out because she's already realized that she agrees with you guys. I'm looking for another partner for him, but it's my understanding that generally the position that Double has, or most of the people that are in that position, which is similar to what Anna's position is the idea that they would be so judgmental on Anna's beliefs to label her transphobic because that is what Vaush and his community have done. You said you would not go that far, Hunter. But for her to already be labeled transphobic as them, she brings up this that he said and is like, how are you throwing stones, essentially? So to me, it seems if she's going to get labeled for being transphobic for having this 5% disagreement, by his own standard, by Vaush's own standard, past Vaush would have to be labeled as transphobic as well. So that's what I mean by it depends on whose gauge.
What the fuck are you talking about? There's no logical connection there. No, because of the fact that
if you're saying I made no logical connection, you're being very bad faith because I'm trying to be very.
Hold on, just wait. All right. So
Go
saying
ahead.
that
Okay,
you disagree with 5% of the trans community does not mean that you're transphobic just because of that. The specific issues that she disagrees on are ones that he is using to label her as transphobic. He didn't ever disagree on those issues, so it wouldn't be by his own lights that he's transphobic.
Could I just cut it? I'm sorry to.
Online trans
No,
community is
they
fucking
gauge. So
toxic.
you're
are.
willing to
He still
say
thinks
you're
I'm
willing
sure
to
that he's
say.
fucking correct.
I just.
And this can be your position, and I understand that you might not be aligned with Hunter. You might have your own beliefs here. You're willing to say that being against some gender-inclusive terms like birthing person, having a strong disagreement to that, you're saying that that's okay to consider that transphobic.
No, when the fuck did I say that?
I'm trying to understand what you're taking up for Vaush here for, because that is.
I'm telling you that the 5% that you disagree with the trans community on matters, and different 5% will qualify.
And
as
I'm
you
telling you the
transphobic.
5%
Listen,
that
Carrie, you don't want to know my
Anna
position. You have to stop
made.
talking and listen, right? The 5% that you disagree on matters. If you disagree on 5% that are transphobic that disagree on, then yes, obviously you're transphobic. But any random 5% is not sufficient to say that you're transphobic.
Okay, I would like to talk about Anna's 5%, where her big complaints was about the birthing person.
I'm going to play this clip really quickly just on my own stream, but if you go to deleted controversial Vaush stream at minute or timestamp 1 hour, 29 minutes in, he says, I am absolutely not implying that all trans people are mentally ill or irrational. That's what he says.
Now wait, Sim, did you see you have an issue with the birthing person's thing? Like, what was your issue with it again?
I think that her position's retarded on that. I think her motivation.
And would you say that Vaush is in the right to label her as transphobic because of that position?
To be fair, he called her. I don't think he called her.
No, you come on,
I think
you
he
have
called
to
her a
have-
turf. I think he called her a turf. So.
Well, most turfs are referred to as transphobic. I'm asking you to have an opinion here. Do you wait?
Yeah,
do you
see
want?
how
If
they
you
have to,
don't
like,
want to
back out
have
of
an
their
opinion,
position
you don't
so
have
fast?
to.
Position I backed out of. Double shine. Name a position I've said that I've walked back. Name one.
Do you think that it was fair for
Don't
Vaush
ask
to
me a
call
question.
Karen?
Name one.
Do you think it was fair for?
Don't
do you
ask
think
me
it
a
was fair?
question. Name one.
Can I just
Answer my
say my
question
statement?
first.
Jesus Christ! I think that what happened
Don't
was
ask me a
you got
question.
pushed
Answer
on
my
the
question.
5%,
What?
and then as soon as you actually got asked, is it fair
Answer
to call
my
her?
question.
I am. Holy fuck! Stop interrupting me. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ!
you have to let
Cherry, like,
Synth.
what
Are
is
you
this?
just?
Oh my God.
Just give me 1 second, because Synth, if you're just here to be like the debate bro, obstructor, obfuscator, like let me know.
Just give me an answer.
I would just prefer you to let people respond. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool,
I
I'm
think
waiting
that,
for
Thank
an answer.
you.
think
Thank you, Flo,
I
for
think that
joining.
when asked, is it fair for Vaush to call Anna a turf, which I think Cherry said transphobic. I said a turf because I think that is what he actually did call her. You said, oh, I don't really know. So it feels like you ran away from that right away, even though you were very happy to talk about how it's not fair to call Vaush transphobic. So I'd like to ask you again, was it fair
Don't ask
for
me a question,
Vaush to
answer
call...
mine.
I mean, I don't understand. Is it
What is
fair
the
for
question
Vaush
you're
to call
answering?
Anna? Can you just stop? Oh my God, this is unreal. I halfway through my sentence.
More
Is it
crybullying
fair
from
for
more
Vaush?
crybullying
Is
from
it fair
Diligent.
for Vaush to call Anna a turf?
Answer my question.
What was even your
I can't
question
play
in the
this
first
game.
place?
I
Like,
can't
you
do
kept,
this.
you
Like,
kept
this is
on
unreal.
You kept
Like,
This
what
is
is
the question
this?
that I
You didn't
asked
ask
you
me a question
originally.
first.
I walked back. Name one. You said I walked
just
back
did.
to use
I
mine.
can't do
Name
this
one.
Nobody-
anymore. I just
nobody
wanted-
is
I gave you a
interested.
chance to
Double
redo it
Shine just said
again.
that. Right? Double
No
Shine just
one.
made that
Okay,
claim.
no,
Prove
I
it.
am so not interested in the dick measuring. Can we just
I
get to
don't
the
care if
point
you're
of
interested in the
Anna
dick
and
measuring.
Vaush?
I want Double Shine to answer my question.
I'm not gonna
You're
play
not.
this game.
tagging
I'm
it out
not
now.
gonna
Same
let
question
Double
over and over
answer the
again. But
fucking
it's not getting
question
away from
until
this.
you answer a question.
I've answered every question so
Like,
far
was-
except
I
for the one that
asked
he just
you
answered, which
to
was,
have an
except for the one that he just
opinion.
asked, which was in response to my question.
You did not answer my question before that.
Which
No, you
question?
didn't.
Which is the
Which
question
question?
I'm
I
throwing out,
asked
by the
you.
way.
I asked you, is it fair for Vaush to consider Anna a transphobic or a TERF because
I
she
did answer
disagrees
this.
with the term birthing person? What
I
was
did
your
answer this.
answer?
What did I say right after you asked it the first time?
You didn't give me an answer.
What did I say?
No, don't ask
You
the
don't
question.
know.
Just give me the
You didn't
answer.
What good words I
actually do any
said? I said
research
I have
on
no
it.
fucking clue, you fucking retard, Cherry. I answered your
No,
That's
so
question.
not
you
fucking
don't.
opinion. How do you
So
have an
you
opinion
don't
on
know
that?
what
I have no fucking
transphobic
clue.
is.
I have
You
no fucking clue.
pressed double
When
shine.
the
You
fuck did I
pressed
say I don't know
double
what
shine
transphobic
about
is?
what is transphobic. Define me
I can
transphobia.
tell you
But
what
here you
transphobic
are.
is.
You
the
don't
question
even
being
know if
asked
he can
right now,
call her
Sin?
transphobic.
Cherry,
That's not
what
the
is?
question
Can
you
you
just asked.
summarize the question in short that you're asking, Sin, please?
Yes. What I'm asking, and I've asked. I feel like you
6
understand
times now.
what the question is by this point, and it's just bad faith. It's bad faith on both of your part.
Me? I haven't even been
Yes,
saying
we
anything.
no for you to need me to rehash it out, but maybe because you muted this to listen to your clip on stream, I would understand.
No, I didn't mute it. I'm just looking at chat. People are saying that he also posted in a video not too long ago that he retracted the turf statement. So I was trying to get more info on that. That's all.
Okay, and that is fair to bring up that Vaush, the things that he said in the past doesn't necessarily reflect how he feels today. But what I'm asking Synth, which is Anna's perspective, Anna is being portrayed as a TERF or a transphobic person right now because she disagrees with the term birthing person. And I'm asking if that is fair for Vaush to view her as transphobic if that is the single thing that she has moved on.
If that were the single thing that she were moved on,
That wasn't
no,
the
it would not
question
be
you asked.
fair.
Of course, the answer to that's no.
No, absolutely. Well, if I could just answer that question too,
That's been the question.
it would not be fair to consider somebody transphobic
and-
for having an issue alone with birthing people, which is exactly why
Yes,
I said.
I knew that was your take. I knew that was your take, but Synth is not answering and he's
Okay,
not
my
giving
I
fault.
his
just answered your question,
opinion
you
on
fucking
this.
retard.
what
I said
is
no.
your
Well, it took you like
Tell the
10 minutes of
answer,
stalling
bro.
to finally
You
just say
treated
no.
it
I have a
Answered
whole
all
panel of
of
people
them.
here that know you haven't answered it. So just
It's
give us the
recorded, you
answer
dumb
again.
fuck. I said no.
Okay,
Sin,
so
do
you
you think
think
there
that
is any-
Anna's
do you
not
think
Sorry, hold on,
transphobic
Double
transphobic.
Shine. Let
position?
Cherry finish her sentence. Go ahead, Cherry. Let's hear
So
what you have to
so
say.
then to be
She's
clear,
the
you
moderator,
don't
bro.
She's the moderator who's debating me. Your moderator is
because
not
I have
unbiased.
to. I have to in this
can't handle
Yeah,
situation.
you have to. Let's go ahead.
But so in this situation, you would say that Anna is not transphobic then.
What the fuck is the connection there? No, because of the fact that this isn't the only position she's necessarily moved on. Saying, is it sufficient that she's moved her view on just this position to call her transphobic? Saying no to that doesn't mean that she can't be transphobic for other reasons. You fucking
Cherry,
retard.
can I ask a question to Synth, please? What position of
No, let Cherry
what
respond
position
to
of
that. She's just
Anna?
sitting there
What position of
dumbfounded.
Anna?
Fucking
What
respond
position
to
of
it.
Anna do
What
you
the fuck
think
is
qualifies
that?
her to be a turf?
What did you ask?
What position of Anna do you think qualifies her to be a turf?
I fucking answered this earlier. I don't know what position Bosch is alluding to for
Okay,
calling her a
so-
turf.
But that's
there
why
we
we're
go.
getting
Yeah,
to the
it's just a
bottom of this
non-answer.
because
I didn't sit
and
here and
I
call
can
her a
just
turf.
I
I
can
didn't
just
call her
explain this to
transphobic.
you.
What the fuck does that
I
have to
can
do with my
explain this to
position?
you, Synth. I can explain this to you. Basically, the Vaush and the Anna drama that is happening is fueled by Anna being upset at being portrayed as a TERF or a transphobe
I
for
thought
no
she was
reason.
upset about being called a retard and a bitch. That's
That
not
is
the same
that's
thing.
the recent clips. No, I'm talking
be
about
upset about
before. But
She
I'm
is-
talking about
she
the
is a
initial
retarded
response.
bitch.
If we recall, this feud has been going on for a while. So in the beginning, Anna was put off and upset about being referred to as a
Bro,
TERF or a
Vaush is a
transphobe for her
coward,
beliefs.
She was initially she was upset that Vosh called her a turf.
That she was portrayed as a TERF and
Yeah,
a
what does that have to do
transphobe
with any of
for
that?
I think it's
disagreeing with that.
I think it's specifically
Because
called
she's
her
a trans,
yeah.
because she considers herself on the left and a trans ally. So the That's essentially
Yeah,
what
you
all of
can.
this infighting
Just like
is
how
about. I
Vaush
feel like
considers himself a trans ally and is getting called transphobic. Yeah.
yes, it would
Can
be
be tough.
similar.
Wait, I'm curious, Hunter. Has Anna said that Vaush is transphobic?
Yeah, but the problem is that Vaush has
She
influenced-
literally
Okay, no, stop,
posted the
stop,
clip
I
and said,
wanted to
"Why
answer
do
that.
you?"
Food Chops, I wanted to answer that.
Wait, yes, she posted the
Where?
clip on Twitter and said, "Why do you think the LGBT community is cancer?"
Okay, did she call him transphobic?
Okay.
The
I get that
LGBT
you're
community
acting in
qualifies.
incredibly bad faith right now, but anybody with half a brain cell
I'm
who isn't
acting in bad faith.
shut the fuck
Okay,
up.
dude.
Anybody who's not fresh out of preschool knows the implication there. Hey Vaush, why are you saying the LGBT community is cancer after he was attacking her for not being progressive enough? Yeah, the implication is that he's being transphobic. Are you serious right now? Is this your first day in the real world? You're acting so smug right now, but yet you're also acting so stupid, and it does not go well together.
I
It's
want to
my
let Flo Trace get in here. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Flo
sorry.
Trace.
I have not been listening to the whole conversation, so I might be missing something. Maybe I was born only one day ago, but I feel like there's a pretty valid interpretation. You could say that if Vaush is attacking Anna on what Anna believes to be, pretty tenuous basis to, disassociate her from the left or undermine her credibility as a trans ally, that her throwing that kind of clip back in Vaush's face doesn't necessarily read as her doing the exact same, but sort of demonstrating the sort of the weakness in doing that, because sometimes people speak very, bombastically. I feel like there's a very valid interpretation of Anna saying, "Vaush,
Gatorade's
how
got
can
my
you
tongue
say,
blue."
I am transphobic when you have this kind of clip? Surely you would not say you're transphobic. So therefore, I don't really think it's fair for you to say the same about me based on these clips. I don't think that's really that out there."
No, it's totally
I
out
don't
there.
think
So
that-
the
I don't-
clip
I
from
don't think it's
Vaush
a
is
500 IQ thing. You're talking as if it's like some kind of 8D chess kind of thing. I don't think it's
I
that
don't think
deep.
it's
You know what I
I think
mean?
it's super simple.
I don't know. Like if you're interpreting it like from face value, I just think it just seems a bit disingenuous. The way that it's sort of doing like that. And I promise I don't have a fence on my ass by the way I'm fence sitting. But
No, that's fine.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so saying that saying that Anna is transphobic because of her statements wouldn't mean that anything in this clip from Vaush is transphobic. The clip is Vaush being correct, right? Anna is incorrect. There's the big difference
Yeah,
here.
but the
Anna's
problem is that
incorrect.
Vaush
If you
clearly
think
has
the
inflammatory
Vaush,
language,
hold on, food chops, hold on, right? So the
No,
the
you're
clip
the one
from
who keeps interrupting me.
you interrupted me just now, dumbass.
Yeah.
Watch the clip.
This time
you can watch
he
this back and
actually
fucking
since
Just finish your
since it's been
statement.
an
Chill
hour.
with the dumbasses, okay?
I'm gonna keep calling people dumbass.
They need
so,
like 20 seconds, like throwing
I'm just
insults.
gonna
oh my
ask
god,
you
the
to
fucking
get
constant
speaking
interruptions
time.
from the most retarded people in the room.
Yeah, it feels
So-
pretty shitty, doesn't it, Sid?
Yeah, from the
Maybe you should
most
fucking
retarded
pick up
people in the
on
room,
that.
double shined, right? Like right now.
Okay,
So just
yeah.
pipe down. Let me finish my sentence. So saying that Vaush is transphobic because of this clip would be fucking insane, because even out of context, seeing the fucking words you said, none of those are transphobic. They're just him being correct on an issue Anna agrees on.
To be clear, Anna never
is saying
called him
retarded
transphobic.
shit,
Just wanted
which
to
is
point that out.
totally which is very
He's
clear
actually
and
being
obvious
this
motivated
disingenuous.
reason.
He's actually going this route.
I don't
You're
think
actually
he-
going
No,
the route
because
of
I'm
wait,
just
wait,
saying I'm being just as bad
Hey,
faith
just-
as you guys are.
wait.
Just let-
You realize
Yeah,
when
I-
she
like,
says,
I'm gonna
"Is
let
this
Hunter-
you?"
I want Hunter to just react to
I just want to know how anybody am I seriously the only person here who, when I read something like, "Is this you, Vaush? Why do you think the LGBT community is cancer?" is not implying that he's being transphobic? How do you
Calling
not?
all online
What do you think
people
the?
shared mental illness is
I don't-
implying it's pretty transphobic too?
So you do think that she was calling him transphobic?
one person.
No.
Let's.
So
Hold
you
on.
think she was implying that he was
no,
transphobic,
I-
and you agree that she
I
was
don't think anything
transphobic?
there has the word
I'm
trans or
taking the
trans-
literal word. I'm taking the literal words that you guys said. Now, Anna's actual point is that we should actually retweet this after somebody said this. You can disagree with this because she didn't technically say it, but she retweeted it, which is her point. Is that Vaush oftentimes says worse things than Anna ever did about the online trans community when he's their target of criticism, and yet he joins them and engages in similar bad faith attacks like you guys are doing now,
But it's not.
just to siphon off some of those disaffected
It's-
TYT
it's
audience.
not.
Which I think that's Anna's point. I think it's pretty fair. Again, it's you
Turning
guys are just
people
really
against-
fucking upset that she said LGBT instead of online LGBT, which I guess is a fair point. But I don't know. I guess if that's
Well, thank you
the
for
extent of the
conceding that. I
conversation.
appreciate it. But yeah, I genuinely am not sure what your issue is then. So do you think that Vaush was
Well, I
being
don't know what
transphobic?
your
Do you think that
issue
she
is,
was in?
except for the fact that she didn't say online LGBT community.
Well, you said no. You said that she didn't ever call him transphobic as well, right?
Yeah, she didn't call him transphobic. I'm again. Sorry, God, I have to explain this to you. You guys are being super bad faith about my comment about him being transphobic
Clearly
in
being
his clip.
dishonest. Why are you
So
calling us
I'm
bad
being
faith?
super dishonest with the fact that she never actually called him transphobic. Now he did call her a TERF, so that is true.
Did he walk that back?
Okay, great. So if he walks it back, that's fine. Cool. I love how Vaush can do that trick.
What
where he
else
just,
are you
says crazy ass
supposed
shit
to
and
do?
walks it back like
Did
the next
Vaush
fucking
walk
day.
back? Did Vaush walk back calling her a turf?
I thought so. I thought, yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Well, do you actually know that, or
Yeah, do we have a link for
I
when
think
that
it was one of his
happened,
more
or a
recent videos
screenshot?
at the 6-minute,
The
50-second timestamp. Let me go check it out.
Yeah, if you can put that in the group chat, that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think that it is that crazy to say, given
With
the
no
context
lead-up.
of the back and forth between Vaush and Anna, that Anna is trying to demonstrate sort of the flaws and the limits in the position of going after what she perceives as, comments that are exceptions in what is otherwise a very broad basis of support for trans issues. And in the same way that when Vaush... Hold on. I don't understand that she stands by those comments. The point that I think Anna is trying to make, and I don't think it's a crazy interpretation of what she's saying to think it's this point, is that she's saying that Vaush, I don't think it is, I think it's kind of rich coming from you who have made, similarly incendiary comments in regards to the trans community, but still would be considered, a trans ally. You would not consider yourself transphobic, to sort of levy that same principle against me. It feels like, for you to levy that principle against me, you'd have to levy it against yourself. And clearly you don't think you're transphobic. And I think that's just that this particular clip of Vaush calling the online LGBT activists cancerous is just the example that she's pointing to of that. I don't think it's that crazy to say that's the interpretation, and not that Anna genuinely, if you read her mind, thinks, yes, I think Vaush is transphobic. I think he genuinely does not like trans people. I think that my interpretation is actually a lot more likely than the latter.
Cool. So why do you think that the comparison is apt between Vaush's behavior and Anna's behavior?
I think regardless of whether or not the comparison is apt, that Anna could be wrong. Anna could be wrong in the sense that Vaush does have a basis to criticize her, and not to criticize himself. But that the point she is trying to make is not that Vaush is transphobic, but that he is just the same as her. If we want to then argue about his claims versus her claims, that's a separate question to whether or not Anna did indeed call Vaush transphobic.
Okay, so if it's a totally unapt comparison, what evidence do we have that she's making this as a comparison?
Well,
because she actually really retweeted that point.
She
that literally said what
somebody
her
else
comparison
back.
was.
Yeah, what
we
reason do you
can
have to believe that
Okay,
she was
so you're just gonna literally take the most bad faith interpretation of her
Oh,
tweet.
no,
And that's
wait,
it, just write it
I'm
off.
taking the literal
I just explained the
interpretation.
reason.
She's being honest.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
giving you
because
the
we're not
interpretation she's
autistic.
being
We don't take the
honest.
literal interpretation.
no
Just like
lead-up.
I'm not gonna literally
You can
say
call other people
that she called him
autistic. You're not-
transphobic.
Look, you can call other people autistic. You're low functioning autistic. Double
No,
shine.
because you don't
So
understand it.
listen-
Just like you didn't understand that the
wait,
reference to the
actual
homeless
evidence.
person
Some good
was a
actual
reference to her
fucking
sexual
evidence.
assault, because you don't
It's funny.
understand.
It was a
You're
funny
being
joke.
bad
It
faith
was a
as fuck
funny
to
joke.
Anna,
Vaush was right.
and
It
you're
was a
giving
funny joke.
super good faith to
Look,
Vaush.
It's not
I'm not
a
being
funny
bad.
joke.
I'm being too good faith to Vaush. You think I'm
But you
biased
think it's
towards
wait,
Vaush?
sorry, you think it's a funny
I
joke
feel
to joke
disgusted.
about her
What are you
sexual
talking
assault
about?
because you think grabbing a woman's ass is like some funny meme. So I guess it
it's a
doesn't
fu-
really
if you
matter
call
to
the other
you.
person a drug addict, them saying you're afraid of homeless people is
But
fucking
she actually
funny. It's an
did get
edgy joke
sexually
and it's funny.
assaulted.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
Okay,
fuck.
so
I'm not gonna
I
cry
can't-
about
I
it.
don't
So
know.
He
back
He
me out of
actually
the
takes
topic of
Adderall,
discussion.
so that was
Like,
just as
shit,
offensive
I
for
feel like
him,
you
you
make
know?
any fucking joke then and just say, oh, well, I thought it was funny, so I don't really care if he jokes back. Like,
If you
damn,
insult somebody else for their fucking ADHD, I think somebody else could insult you for the fact you got your ass grabbed by a homeless guy. Yes, it's fucking fair game. If you want to get in the mud, somebody's gonna get in the mud with you. Don't fucking cry about it when they go there. Don't fucking go low and cry when somebody else goes just as low as you did.
To be fair, she didn't cry. She just posted other. To be fair, she just posted other comments.
Of bad faith or bad faith double shine, but you're the most bad faith motherfucker I've talked to ever.
No, to be clear, because
wild
you
to
didn't
me.
even mention the fact that it was sexual assault, and then when it did, you kind of just laughed it off, which is I think pretty gross and disgusting.
It was totally worthwhile. I think it's funny.
Okay, that's great. I'm just gonna let you know that most people
If somebody
don't
makes
think
an edgy
making fun of
joke,
someone's
you can make an
sexual
edgy
assault.
joke.
It's
Most
not an
people aren't
edgy
cool with
joke,
you making
dog.
jokes,
Making fun of
making
someone's
edgy
sexual
jokes about
assault
somebody
is
doing
not
about
cool.
fucking somebody being an Adderall addict because of the fact that they use
But
Adderall for
I think we
ADHD
just have
medication.
we have a difference here. I don't know how I can explain to Synth that like making fun of someone's sexual assault is like probably not
Making
okay. I don't know
fun
how
of
to do
somebody
that.
getting groped. Yeah, I think it's like totally fair game.
I
If somebody
think-
else
by the
is
way,
like,
he-
"You're
I
Adderall," then
The
it's
story
still
that I
fair
remember
game.
is that he
To insult
grabbed
you for
her
getting
hip
your
and
ass
started
grabbed.
thrusting
Yeah, who
her.
cares?
Yeah.
I would like to
Okay,
be clear
who
that I
cares?
don't
I think that's, like, the
think there
entirety of
is
this point.
record.
Like, Synth just doesn't give a fuck.
I don't think that there is record of Anna going on and crying about Vaush's tweet. I think people are offended for Anna. It's other people that are put off to see Vaush make fun of a sexual assault.
So they're offended for Anna. Yeah, I mean, I agree. How many people are offended on her behalf? Nobody.
I think it's
gives a
okay
fuck.
to.
Who
I
cares?
think, I think it's okay to criticize Vaush's joke and also criticize Anna's joke. I think that just because someone crosses a line doesn't mean you cross all lines. Like I don't think it'd be appropriate to like start calling Candace Owens the N-word.
Sorry to interrupt the combo,
But
but
I
I was
think there are probably
Candace
some lines.
Owens called somebody the F slur, then I think it'd be understandable if they called her the N-word back.
Hold on.
Fucha?
Understandable and
Like, I'm
justified.
just as low.
Red
Like, I'm
slut,
sorry,
Fucha,
like,
get in
fucking
here,
grow up.
and then Hunter. Let's let Food
Understandable.
I
Shop
found
and
the
then
clip
Hunter.
that you wanted me to find. That's all.
Okay.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
it's totally understandable that according to that clip, okay, because I know we're dying on this hill now, right? That according to that clip, right? No matter how you interpret it, that Vaush was saying it in a really, really inflammatory way. And since Anna Kasparian is on like a whole new level tier that is above Vaush, right? Like, because I don't think they're on the same level. Like she's on a new clout level that if she is like, she had hand in funding the justice stems and stuff, if she had something like Vaush on, like onto her platform and to have on the TYT platform who says like these kinds of things where these kinds of clips are circulating, like even though she might understand that there's a difference between online and not, like even though like she's being bad faith online and etc., right, that her audience, which is typically like boomer progressive kind of people, like look at that kind of thing, they might not interpret that way, and we shouldn't hold the TYT audience standard as the same as like Anna Kasparian's like own perspective kind of standard, if that makes sense, right? So if they see somebody like Vaush on there and they see like these clips start to circulate because Facebook boomers, right, then and Republicans start going hard at Anna Kasparian for hosting this like pedophile kind of Vaush person on, then I don't think it looks good for TYT to be doing that.
Vaush on
It's just not a good
Somebody talk
optic
with
thing
Vaush.
overall. It's understandable why like Anna Kasparian wouldn't have somebody like Vaush on. Like
I
that's it.
don't think
All right,
I don't think there's
I'm-
any claims about Vaush being a pedophile that is validated. So
No, none of those are bad. But
No,
anyway,
I just don't want that to
I just put it in the
stick around.
chat.
No, I recognize none of it is validated, but I'm just saying it's easy for Republicans to believe and name call these like with no kind of validation and easily like throw these like things out and have
No,
good
that's clearly
talking
not our
points.
motivation. What are we speculating?
Okay, hold on,
That's-
wait, please,
no.
guys, just
Go ahead.
wait 1 second. I put it in chat. You can go to Anna Kasparian is so mad at being called out, posted on Vaush's channel 3 days ago at minute timestamp 6:29. He said, wait on.
Did you put it in?
Yes, I did. It said messages failed to load though, so I don't know if it went through. It's
Discord might be having trouble.
for some reason not working.
Wait, can you put the link in the group chat, please?
I
That's
tried.
what he's working on.
That's what I tried doing, but
Oh.
it's saying messages not loading. I'm not making it up. You can, well, I can just put it in here then. Hold on. There you
Like,
go.
okay, so I'm
Wait,
a
no.
real-
I need to read this
Hold
first.
on, he's
He
just
said,
letting
I
him
don't
finish.
think I called her a turf. Did I call her a turf? I don't think her rhetoric is turfy. I don't remember saying that. If I did, then I think that's imprecise. I don't think that's a precise description of her ideology. I think she's being transphobic. I don't think she's a turf. End quote.
Wait, so
Okay.
he did call her transphobic.
The question was whether or not he called her a
Being
turf.
transphobic.
No,
Yeah,
no,
not transphobic. Turf was the question.
It was known that he called her a turf. I said transphobic. We weren't sure if it was one or both.
But Hunter
but we
now
also
said that
didn't
he
know
did
that he
indeed call
walked
her
it back.
transphobic, right?
Well, yeah, I didn't know we
or
were
maybe
even
I
arguing about
misheard
that. Yeah, of course he called her transphobic. I thought the argument was
Okay.
whether or not he called her a turf, which is, in my understanding, what we were arguing about.
Well, yeah, because initially he did. You guys had a hard time buying that, but he did. He walked that back, sure, but he called her transphobic, right? So
What are you talking about?
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just
the
wanted to
argument
keep
wasn't
you up
whether
to date,
or
'cause you seem
not
to be a
he
little
called her
lost this one.
transphobic. It was whether or not he called her a turf. That's all. So I was just getting
It
into the
wasn't
fact that he
you.
walked
It
that
wasn't
back.
you who disagreed earlier about that, Hunter. So just because you're not the one who challenged it
disagreed about
doesn't
what?
mean it didn't get challenged. I think
Hold on,
Synth wanted
Vaush
to know
said-
exactly if Vaush had called her transphobic. He didn't know about
No,
it,
I didn't.
and that's why he's
How
saying
are they
that
so
was
lost
okay.
in their own
talking
fucking
about?
discussion? It's actually
What
crazy.
the fuck? No, I never
Okay,
asked if
We can
Vaush
go
was
back in the
transphobic.
clip, bro.
I
We
will,
can
I
look
will
at it.
literally, I will
I said, I
ignore.
don't know.
We
I
didn't
have
talk
no
about the
fucking idea what
transphobic. We're
Vaush's
talking about
reason for
turf.
calling it
Again, you're
transphobic
lost.
is.
Synth, you're lost. You gotta
Pointless.
keep up.
I'm not
okay?
lost. You're
Now,
not
Hunter,
tracking. I
the
fucking
idea-
made
no.
this very clear.
Hold on,
If we
wait.
want to-
Let
if we
this
want
guy
to
finish
ignore
what he
the
was saying to
fact-
me,
Remind you what
please.
they
If we
were,
wanna-
right?
if
The
we wanna
first
ignore
question
the
you
fact-
asked me about,
If
we want
do I
to-
know if
Synth,
do I think that Vaush is justified?
Okay, I'm just gonna let him go.
Let
If we
this
wanna
guy
ignore the fact that
finish
I
what he
think
was saying to me,
calling
please.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
calling somebody a turf and walking it back, Vaush has a really bad history of that, which is already pretty fucked up. But if we want to just go with the fact that he's calling her transphobic, then that's fine. I'll give you guys that one, okay? We can just.
Do you
stick
think
with
there's a
that.
difference?
obviously there's like a difference, but I think in the idea that he or that she would feel insulted by being called transphobic or TERF, I don't think that there's like a distinct difference there.
I think
I don't
you're
think, like, if
just.
somebody
I
called me
think that you're
transphobic, I
ignoring
would be
the.
like this mad, but if somebody called
Okay,
me
never mind,
TERF, I would
can't
be
hear
like
shit.
this mad.
I
don't
think you're
it's-
ignoring some of the nuances here. A TERF is definitely a different thing than just a transphobe. I mean, conservatives can be
No.
transphobes, but actually being like a radical feminist who's also exclusionary towards trans people and in favor of like the woman right thing is a different ideology entirely.
I will say, as somebody in feminist spaces and as somebody who's often criticized as a feminist, when you are on the left as a woman and you are a feminist, being referred to as a TERF is interchangeable with transphobic. There is no distinction made.
Sure, and that's lame.
But
That's
I understand
maybe
for
maybe
you
that
that you
word
would
should be used
you
more
would see them as
sparingly then.
different.
Well, I would say
Yeah,
that
it
word should be
should.
used more
It
sparingly.
should,
then.
but they
that's
are-
literally what he did. He was calling her a TERF just to like
Yeah.
throw it out because it's a generic insult now for like trans or transphobic.
Sure,
white
and
women,
and you know what? That was definitely irresponsible. I'm not over here as a giant Vaush
Mhm.
simp. I just think that what Vaush said in this clip,
Glad
that
we
she's
agree.
trying to say that he is transphobic and is not really transphobia. That's all.
I think that there's
he does have a
probably-
bad history, by the way, of getting stuff wrong and then needing to walk it back. Also, that's like I'm not over here as like the biggest Vaush fan or Vaush stan or some shit.
Yeah,
It's
wait,
just
does anybody?
I-
Yeah, I understand. Does anybody have any issue with what I talked about for the optics thing?
could you say
I
that part
think
again?
optics don't
State
even
it.
matter. I think if somebody's like going out and like hurling
Wait.
like I think like again,
Wait.
Synth doesn't care if you call somebody like a retarded dumb bitch and stuff like that. But there's no
Sure.
truth statement to somebody as retarded or a dumb
Wait,
bitch. Those are
okay.
just
There is.
insults,
So-
right?
so wait,
So
can I
if you're
just say
if you're
something,
upset,
please?
no, sorry,
was
just
fine.
I'm answering your question, right? I think that if you have a platform, which TYT has a huge platform, why would they share it with somebody who's like going out on these like insane fucking meltdowns, calling Anna a bitch? Like, why
They
would you do
shouldn't.
that?
Who's saying they
you don't
should?
have any obligation to like charity basket them?
You're right. They don't. They have absolutely
Um,
no responsibility or obligation whatsoever to have Vaush on their channel. Not at
Let's
all.
let Food Chop respond.
The thing is that like I think it stretches like a little bit even beyond that, right? Because it's not just the fact that because we've seen Chink Uyghur, is that his name? Chink Uyghur,
Yes, that's
like
good.
debate Destiny recently, which is like Destiny have said a lot of things in the past which are considered like really bad, really like extremely like also just as inflammatory as Vaush, yet like he was let on. And I think there's a good discussion to be had there. But I think there is a level of disrespect that I think Vaush is willing to impart onto TYT that Destiny isn't really that much willing to impart onto TYT. For example, I am willing to give you this. I have found clips in the past of Vaush saying, like, I don't know why, but I feel like Vaush has a more frequency, has a higher frequency of saying really weird sexual shit about white women and like hating white women, specifically white women, not black women or whatever, just white women. And like, I think he said something about like a senator like willing to bend her over and fuck her in the ass or something like that. I remember that
I
one.
feel like we
And
need a source for that one.
Yes, I
Well,
will.
I definitely agree,
And-
and to an extent. Again, I'm not here to just be like, no, Vaush good, Vaush good, Vaush good. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, there have definitely
yeah.
been comments he's made in the past.
But-
I think his
but I
engagement
know-
with J.K.
but I-
Rowling wasn't great either.
Right. So I know one of the points was Ben Shapiro and Anna Kasparian, right? And the respect is like even though Ben Shapiro is like pretty much like a near fascist to a fascist or whatever, like you can argue like that's the point, right? But the thing is that if you're willing to sit down and have a formal conversation or debate, that is so valuable in like a kind of civil discourse kind of scenario than versus shouting and screaming at each other. Because so I'm a political volunteer. I'm a volunteer leader. I actually go out and canvas in real life. And
Nice.
when I talk to people, if I'm shouting and screaming at them, I'm not gonna get even 2 seconds in before they're slamming the door in my face. But if I present like, for example, if I present as somebody like Symph and I call them retard and I say incredibly inflammatory language and say like all these things, this is not optically good. And if I say inflammatory language like Vaush, it's not optically good at the end of the day.
Yes,
Which, by the
it
way,
is.
it's
You're
exactly,
so
that's
wrong.
exactly
You're
what
so
happened to
tacky.
It just
Destiny. His
depends.
entire
Total
political
opposite.
campaign in Omaha got
Wait, so let me
overthrown
finish,
because
let
of
me
his
finish.
comment.
All right. Well, I've been here for an hour now, so thank you, Cherry, for the fun. I'm out. Ciao.